When you start marketing on social media, you might be tempted to use every platform you can. But unless you have unlimited time on your hands, you need to prioritize which ones you choose to develop your brand. It's just as important to know which ones to skip as it is to use. Not every social media outlet is created equal. Different channels tend to appeal to different audiences or demographics. Combine that with the fact that you're juggling lots of other work, and it's easy to see why choosing the most effective is so important. By studying the audience of platforms and knowing the most effective ways to use them, you'll get the most from your social media marketing. Here, I'll break down some of the key demographics of the most popular platforms and what they're being used for. Before deciding on which platforms to use, ask yourself a few questions. Are you marketing to individuals or to businesses? Who's your target audience? Are you using social media to sell, to connect, or to simply build brand awareness? These all come into play when making your choice. Let's look at the 7 major platforms, their key demographics, and what they're most effective at doing. Let's start with the first one, YouTube. YouTube is the undisputed king of video and an absolute must if you have some to share. You can also post audio like a podcast, but video is where it dominates. It easily is the most widely used platform with 80% of all adults using it. Among the 18 to 29 age group, it's a whopping 95%. But it's also one of the few platforms older adults regularly use, with nearly half of those over 65 using it. After uploading your video, it's important to see what sort of comments people leave. It's a great place to get feedback, good or bad, and learn what's working. You can respond to the comments if needed, but there's usually not a lot of back and forth that needs to take place. Number 2. Facebook. If YouTube is the king of video, Facebook takes the crown for overall social media platform. There's a good chance it's where you'll want to begin. Overall, 70% of adults use Facebook. Among women, the number is actually higher at 77%. Like YouTube, it's one of the few platforms regularly used by the older crowd, with half of people in the over 65 demographic using it. With the broadcast reach of the social platforms, Facebook works for content of any sort. You can post nearly anything relevant: announcements, blog articles, videos, pictures, and more, because the audience is so broad. There's no need to limit what you can do, but keep in mind that your page represents your business, so don't get carried away. It's a great place to engage individuals, other businesses, and spread brand awareness overall. Just make sure that you're using your business account and not your personal account to promote your business. Number 3, LinkedIn. LinkedIn is used by 28% of adults overall and 50% of college graduates. The audience is mostly business professionals, from newly graduated college students to CEOs and business owners. Users are also spread very evenly across all age ranges. Usually, there are people looking to grow professional relationships. If you're looking to hire someone or search for talent, this platform is a great choice. If you're marketing toward business-minded professionals, LinkedIn also is the go-to. Now keep that in mind if you're a business-to-business company. Since LinkedIn members are often directly tied to the companies you're marketing to, it's a good place to spread your message. Post professional, industry-related content to get the results you're after, and be sure to use just a few appropriate hashtags to boost your reach. Number 4 is Twitter. Twitter is a great way to interact with customers, build a brand presence, and find out what consumers think of your company. One of the best features of Twitter overall is its simplicity and ability to quickly engage with others. Overall, 23% of adults say they use Twitter, so it's only about 1/3 of the reach of Facebook, but it's still a large audience. Although it's a great way to interact with customers, at times it can feel like a social desert. Too many marketers make the mistake of posting content without actually engaging others. To use Twitter effectively, you need to seek out, like, and reply to relevant content. Also keep in mind that it's about keeping your information short and sweet. In fact, it even limits the number of characters you can use, just for that reason. It's also a great place to research competitors. Find what they've posted and read through the comments. Get a feel for what people like and don't like. Twitter's a simple, multi-purpose platform, but it's also one that takes time and active engagement to get the most benefit. Number 5, Instagram. Instagram has quickly become one of the largest social platforms, with 40% of adults using it in the US. When you look at the 18 to 29 demographic, the number skyrockets to over 70%. Because it was acquired by Facebook, the two platforms can go hand in hand. Instagram is heavily geared toward pictures and short videos, less than 60 seconds long. If you're marketing for a business with a lot of visual content, definitely consider it. They offer both personal and business business accounts. Make sure you set up the business account for the features that you need. Again, using hashtags expands your reach. Instagram actually allows up to 30 on regular posts and up to 10 on stories. Keep in mind that because you can use so many doesn't mean you should. Because of the algorithms that Instagram uses, it's best to use just a handful at a time. Number 6, TikTok. TikTok is one of the relative newcomers to social media, only being around since 2018, but it's gaining in popularity. It's a platform for very short videos, 15 seconds or less, and has a bit of a hip, current feel to it. As of now, about 20% of US adults use it, and most of the users are in the younger demographic. If you come up with quick, entertaining videos and you're after a younger crowd, then check it out. Look at the sorts of videos that are on there. Tons of dance routines, kids, and humorous content, which are all reflective of a younger audience. TikTok is great if you're a business who's targeting youth or trendy fashions, but if you're marketing to businesses or an older crowd, it's probably one you can skip for now. Number 7, Pinterest. Pinterest is basically a visual search engine. It's one of the few social media platforms that gets regular use by older demographics. Among 50 to 64-year-olds, only Facebook and YouTube are more often used. Additionally, it's used much more heavily by women than men. 46% of women say they use it, but only 16% of men say they do. That's a ratio of 3 to 1. When people scroll through Pinterest, they're usually looking for ideas or inspiration. If you can show ways to use your product they haven't considered, it's a great platform. If you have any how-to style content, or you want to visually display possibilities of your product, consider checking it out. Whichever platforms you decide to go with, you'll need to take your time and familiarize yourself with them. Get a feel for what other people's posts look like, and do your best to copy what's good and shy away from what's not. If you want to use several, just try working with one at a time. Balancing several social media accounts isn't easy, and it can be more time-consuming than most people might realize. That's why some businesses hire dedicated social media managers. I recommend you start with Facebook because it lends itself to so many different types of content and has the broadest reach outside of YouTube. If you're marketing toward other businesses or business professionals, get a LinkedIn account. If you're after a younger crowd, consider Instagram or TikTok. If your product lends itself to lots of helpful things your customers can do at home, give demonstrations on Pinterest a try. No matter the platforms you choose, post consistently, make them worthwhile, and represent your business well. As long as you've defined who your target audience is, you'll be fine and doing well in no time. Alright, now that you have a general idea of the social media platforms, it's time to move on to the next section. Let's go.